Welcome to our video series on creating and using mini sites. In this video, we'll look at customizing a site with front page. If you have Microsoft Front Page and would prefer to create your mini sites using this software rather than Mozilla Composer, you'll find many of the features are very similar. And if you're used to working with Mozilla Composer, you should find it fairly straightforward to move that knowledge over to Front Page. Because you're dealing with web pages, you're dealing with the same kinds of elements. The only difference is that things are in a slightly different place in the software. For example, there's no insert table as far as I can see. Instead, you have to go Table, Insert, Table. And then again, you specify. If you want it to be a very basic direct response mini site, or let's say a content mini site, a mini site made up of a few pages, 4 rows, 1 column, alignment in the center, no border, so border size of 0, cell spacing of 0, and cell padding of 10 pixels, and specify width in pixels, let's say 600. And let's OK that. So again, we get an empty frame of the table. And again, top navigation goes here. Main page content goes here. Bottom navigation goes here. And then copyright. And contact links go here. So if we do this very quickly, let's say link 1, space, hyphen space, link 2, space, hyphen space, link 3, space, hyphen space, link 4. So let's select this again, click, hold, and drag, and we can center it. Or alternatively, we can choose Format, Format Menu, Paragraph, Alignment, and Center. So as you can see, it's the same functionality. It's just a slightly different place in the software. Select again, and let's change the font. Format, Font, and even though it gives you a lot of options, you generally still want to deal with those 3 fonts. Arial, also known as Helvetica, Times, also known as Times New Roman, and Courier. So let's choose Arial, regular, and point size you can choose here. Size, it says, and points, PT, 8 points, 10 points, 12 points, 14 points. Let's choose that. Let's choose 14 points. And you can also apply all sorts of effects here, as you can see. So let's OK that, and there we go. OK, I think that's slightly too big, so let's select that. We can also change things here as a shortcut. Let's say 12 points. OK. And if we select again and insert hyperlink, and you can enter a URL, for example, www.yahoo.com. Or as an alternative, if it's a web page in the same folder, you can just call it page1.html, for example, or index.html. And again, you would type your text in there and format it, just as we've done here. And press Enter to add space between lines. and second line of text, Enter, also known as the return key, third line of text, and so on. And then your bottom navigation here and your links. And if you wish to add the actual copyright symbol, you would put your cursor here by clicking here, and then Insert, Symbol, and take your pick. There it is. Insert, and close. So copyright, space, mydomain.com. So as you can see, it's the same functionality and the same layout and the same way of creating a template. It's just that everything's been moved around a little bit in this software in Front Page compared with Mozilla Composer. Of course, that's always the way it is between different pieces of software. But again, since you're dealing with web pages have standard features. Essentially, even though you're using different types of software to create them, web pages are always going to have the same kinds of features because they have to be supported by web browsers. Web pages have standard features, and all web editors are generally going to support these standard features. So, whether you're using Front Page or Dreamweaver or Composer, you're going to come across tables. You're going to come across links. You're going to come across formatting text. You're going to come across aligning text, centering text, for example. You're going to come across bolding text, italics, underlines, all the standard features that web pages support. So the best way to transfer what you know about creating mini-sites from Composer to Front Page is really just spend some time looking through the menus and playing around, and you'll see a lot of familiar words and phrases. You know, it's slightly different in Composer. It's link, whereas in Front Page they call it hyperlink, but it's basically the same difference. So again, just take a look through all of these. Again, bullets and numbering, and there are some advanced features that, frankly, I'd be a little bit careful about using, because Microsoft does have a tendency to include features that are not supported as standard. So by using the very advanced features of Microsoft Front Page, you may wind up with web pages that not all browsers can see successfully, which is obviously not a good thing. So that's something to be aware of. So the way to check that is, after you've created your pages, open your page in Internet Explorer and also in other browsers, such as Mozilla Firefox, and you'll see if there are any issues across different browsers. So that, in a nutshell, is how you can start. Well, if you prefer using Front Page over Mozilla Composer, you can easily start creating your own mini-site templates and start creating mini-sites using Front Page and all the features and functionality it offers.